on the right-hand side because there are walls and pavements. The parking area is in between where the vehicles travel in and where the vehicles travel out. That space in front of the security house
parking area
is the park.
What's the space there's full corner parking area? Yeah, that's correct.
Now, there are demarcated parking areas between where the vehicles travel in and out. Can you give us an estimation of about how many parking bays there are?
Yeah. And give you a picture where they are?
How many? How many parking bays?
Oh, I've never counted them. My work was to guard, not to count on parking.
Yeah, I'm not trying to trick you and I'm not asking for an exact answer. An approximate. Is it approximately 10, 15, 20 bays? Or is it only one or two?
Actually, I'm parking in those of parkers about 10, numbers about 50, numbers about 20.
Yeah, na ngoba ube khona wayengakhaunta yena. Ube khona nje nikuseni namhlanje shini. Ngesikhathi uthatha ithombe.
Because you were there in the morning, why did you count them?
I did, sir.
You indicated to this court that you were there in the morning and you also took some photos.
Yes. And now the court has ruled that I can't show that photo to you. And I can't give evidence as to how many parking bays there are, so I now have to get it out of you.
Cha ngengikwazi ukumsiza mina umsebenzi wami bekugada hayi ukucounta ama-parking yena mhlambe yena bekade yena ukuyocounta nokuyocounta izihlahla zingakhi zikhule kangakanani njengoba sichazele mina umsebenzi wami bekugada lapha bengacounta ama-parking.
Maybe you can help us because you were there, you counted them. My work there was to guard, not to count how many trees or how tall are the trees. And so forth.
Okay, we will then take it from a different angle. You saw the red Ferrari turning into the road leading to the estate, is that correct?
A dramatic courtroom confrontation erupted in the Johannesburg High Court on Wednesday after a defense advocate attempted to introduce photographs he had personally taken of the scene where alleged underworld figure Joe Ferrari Sibanyoni survived a brazen assassination attempt. The move triggered fierce objections from the prosecution, which argued that the defense was seeking to rely on evidence that had not been properly disclosed or authenticated just one day after the state itself had been prevented from showing video footage of the crime scene on similar legal grounds. The dispute unfolded during the cross-examination of state's first witness, security guard Bethel Mzamo Cele, in the trial of Vusi Muziket Madlala and his four co-accused, who face a combined 25 charges, including conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, fraud, money laundering, and the unlawful possession of prohibited firearms and ammunition. The 5 men have pleaded not guilty to every charge. Representing alleged gunman Diego Floyd Mabosela, Advocate Nadas Groove told the judge, Kasim Musa, that he had traveled to Centurion Golf Estate, where the August 10, 2022 shooting took place, on Tuesday evening before returning again at approximately 6 a.m. on Wednesday. Grove explained that he decided to inspect the scene himself because, in his view, the court had not been presented with an adequate visual understanding of the layout after the prosecution's attempt to play video footage was blocked. His visit followed Tuesday's ruling in which Judge Musa barred the state from presenting video recordings of the scene after all 5 defense teams successfully argued that the prosecution had failed to establish the authenticity and evidential foundation required for the footage to be admitted. Seeking to fill what he described as an evidentiary gap, Grove attempted to show the witness photographs he had personally taken during his visit. He argued that the images merely served to help identify landmarks at the state and place the witness's testimony into context. According to Grove, the photographs were no different from the countless still images routinely shown to witnesses during criminal proceedings. He maintained that the witness could simply confirm whether he recognized what appeared in the photographs, insisting the process was standard courtroom practice. The prosecution, however, strongly opposed the move. Advocate Elise Leroux argued that the defense was now attempting to introduce evidence under the very circumstances it had objected to when the state sought to rely on video footage. She told the court that the prosecutors had spent weeks complying with disclosure obligations and ensuring all evidence had been shared with the defense in advance. Leroux questioned the admissibility of Grove's photographs, asking who had taken them, when they were captured, who the author of the images was, and whether that individual would be called to testify. She argued that the defense could not expect the court to accept photographs that had not been subjected to the same evidentiary standards it demanded of the prosecution. It is unacceptable. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. Leroux pointed out that the state had been prevented from presenting what she described as clear video footage of the shooting because of technical objections raised by the defense. She argued that fairness required the same legal principles to apply equally to both parties. Judge Musa acknowledged the unusual position in which both parties now found themselves. He observed that the prosecution had attempted to present visual evidence the previous day but had encountered vigorous legal objections from every defense team. Noting the irony of the defense now seeking to rely on its own visual material, the judge suggested a practical compromise. He indicated that allowing the state to present its video evidence could ultimately save the court hours of unnecessary cross-examination and provide a clearer understanding of the crime scene. His remarks hinted a possible way to streamline proceedings while avoiding further procedural disputes. The court exchange intensified when Leroux questioned whether Grove could rely on photographs he had personally taken. She argued that by placing on record that he had captured the images himself, Grove risked becoming a witness in the very case in which he was acting as legal counsel. The prosecutor questioned whether an advocate could effectively testify through his own evidence while simultaneously representing an accused person. Grove nevertheless stood by his application, maintaining that the photographs merely illustrated the physical layout of the state and did not amount to disputed factual evidence. The dispute unfolded during Grove's lengthy cross-examination of security guard Bethel Mzamo Cele, who survived the shooting and has become a central witness for the state. Cele appeared increasingly frustrated as Grove repeatedly asked him to estimate the distance between his position and the state entrance when gunmen allegedly launched the attack. Pressed to provide measurements, Cele admitted he was unable to estimate the distance accurately and said, "I do not have a measuring tape with me. My problem is I'm not good even in maths." When Grove persisted by asking him to estimate the distance in paces, the witness visibly lost patience and said, "Now you are engaging me on paces and everything, even in science. That is tiring me now." In a moment that briefly lightened the tense courtroom atmosphere, Cele jokingly suggested that the advocate take his contact details so they could visit the state together and measure the distance themselves. He even offered to walk the route during the court adjournment and report back with the results. Leroux objected to the continued questioning, Arguing that it had become speculative and was no longer assisting the court, Judge Musa agreed that the line of questioning had reached its limit and directed Groove to move on. Before witness testimony resumed, Judge Musa took the unusual step of addressing concerns over the trial's delayed start. He explained that proceeding had not commenced at the scheduled 10 a.m. because discussions involving legal representatives and members of the media had taken place in chambers beforehand. Musa said he had become aware of public criticism comparing the trial's punctuality with that of the Madlanga Commission. He cautioned that drawing conclusions without knowing the full circumstances surrounding the court delays. The judge stressed that members of the public should exercise restraint before making comments that could create unnecessary sensationalism. The trial centers on allegations that Matlala orchestrated a series of violent attacks between August 2022 and January 2024. According to the prosecution, the ambush at Centurion Golf Estate was an assassination attempt targeting alleged underworld figure Joe Ferrari Sibanyoni. Tsele, who was working as a security guard at the estate, testified earlier this week that he returned fire during the attack, discharging 15 rounds and wounding one of the alleged gunmen. The state further alleges that Matlala also ordered separate attacks targeting his former girlfriend, actress Tebogo Tshobejane, and music producer DJ Vetis Mokubang. Collectively, the accused face 11 counts of attempted murder, each carrying a prescribed minimum sentence of life imprisonment if they are convicted, in addition to charges relating to conspiracy to commit murder, fraud, money laundering, and the unlawful possession of prohibited firearms and ammunition. What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.